Hey everyone, we are back for another exciting rehearsal this week, and it's our 50th episode. Well, really, this is 51 technically, but it's our 50th episode part 2. We are going to wrap up the 50 most exciting marching arts shows this year. We will find out what made Trish say.
You got the West Coast folks in the 50s wearing their North Face parkas, and you got the East Coast kids in the 30s wearing their hoodies. What do we do? What are we doing here?
And why Thom said...
So, right, I'm going to give my age away here. But it reminds me of, like, Blockbuster. And you would go in, and it's like, Carl's Picks.
All this and more. So get out on the field, and we will see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
Let's go. Set it up.
Top of the show.
Form, check form. Cover down.
Do it again.
Run it back. And we'll see you at the show.
Welcome to another episode of On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Jackie Brown. Can you believe we have made it to 50 episodes? Well,
I'm excited. I can't wait for 50 more, honestly.
That's right.
Who's been a part of all 50, though? Who's been on every one other than Jeremy?
Jeremy.
Not even Jeremy. I don't think no one
Right?
has.
No, you're right.
I think I got here around episode 22, I want to say. It's been a while.
Yeah.
well, if you weren't here for the last episode, first of all, I encourage you to go listen to episode 50 because we talked about the top, the first 25 of our 50 top shows this year. But Jeremy had this idea, he's our producer, to do the 50, I don't even know what you'd call this really, our 50 picks. You could say the most interesting, the most exciting, just the picks that we have for 50 marching arts performances. They had to be catching, viral, or just plain amazing.
Jackie, it reminds me, so, right, I'm going to give my age away here, but it reminds me of, like, Blockbuster, and you would go in, and it's like, Carl's Picks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh my Sarah's Picks. And you're like, good call, Sarah.
Memory unlocked. Yes. So this is our host picks for this whole year of 2023. So you guys have all picked, and some of our listeners have made some suggestions, and but first, let's see who else on the sidelines this week, because we have Cynthia. Hi.
Bonsoir. Hi, guys.
Ooh.
And Trish is back.
Hello, everyone.
And we have Thom this week. Thom, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
It has been a little while. My apologies, but we're back and we're ready to rock and roll.
And Steven's here.
Happy to be here.
And I have to say, one of my absolute besties is back. Hi, Ashlee.
Hey.
I've missed you.
I've missed you too. This is always a good time. Glad to be back.
I'm excited to hear what your picks are too, because we've kind of talked about our picks in like the group chat, and bringing you into this, I'm like, ooh, what's Ashlee gonna say? So it's been an epic year. We've had so many interesting conversations and guests. From what I hear, our producers are actually planning something really interesting for the season finale. And then we're going to be back for season 2 with a whole new sound and look.
Ooh.
So,
and I'm going to expand. Well, I'm just going to jump in because we sort of said this last week, and I'm going to reveal like a little bit more. But everybody that is very familiar with the show. Hi, everyone. It's Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Thom. Everybody that's familiar with the show knows the iconic characters that we use as our lovely photos instead of actual photos, because some of us feel as though our cartoon portrays us in a much better light than maybe our actual photo does.
Guilty.
I know Thom is very pleased with his eyebrow in his caricature.
That is some darn good work.
That is
That is one fine eyebrow.
That is one. I use that eyebrow quite often in our social media stuff. But just to let you know, our artist is working on something for everybody in regards to those. So, yeah.
Are we gonna have AI Snapchat filters of our cartoon faces?
Oh no!
Maybe we should make it like your sticker for like all of your instant messaging and all of that kind of stuff. Like you can make it your sticker and have different expressions. I mean, she is known to like give different expressions. If you all remember in the beginning, some of our early promos, Trevor had several things that he was talking about that she brought in. Like she did a whole thing. So she's amazing. So I'm super excited to see what she comes up with for season 2. I'm not even sure that I fully know. So Emily, if you're listening, like, I mean, I don't know, like what's going on?
Well, this will be fun. Yeah, and we're talking about doing some video for season 2, and I'm excited. So in honor of our final episodes of season 1, we're going to start off with our gush and goes. And so if you were here last time, if you were here for the last episode, you know we did like a double gush and go situation. And so basically, like, what is your gush and go about like the podcast and like about the first season of the podcast? How do you feel about wrapping that up? And then what was your gush and go, like just in general for 2023? Like we're wrapping up this whole year. So what do you want to gush about to end the season? So double gush and go time. You get 2 gushes on this go. Cynthia, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. I was like, I have one, but no, I think that On a Water Break needs to be more known. We need to share this because those discussions and those sit downs are like so important and so relevant. So I'm just happy to be part of it and to have an extra little chance to toot my horn and do Lost in Translation, where we just go deeper into some meaning of some words and some little things here and there, not deeper conversation, but one-on-one. And if I can gush and go on one that is out right now, there's one that is out today with Lexi Miron. I'm sorry, I have a special mic and I need to watch out about my P's in there. Anyway, so Lexi Miron is a Quebecer. She was the captain of Boston Crusaders. She performed with the Pride of Cincinnati, and this year she's performing with Alexis. And we explored words. She's just really good at helping people get along and getting to know each other and fitting in. And we didn't want to say fit in because we all want to stand out, but we're an activity where everyone needs to be the same, right? So we're talking about that. So for people that are younger, that are right now performing, we're into staging mode for most of the independent. I don't know for the high school and marching band and all that, but for winter, I think it's a really interesting conversation that we're having right now. So go listen that out, episode 5 about adapt.
Sorry, I'm jumping in because I was editing the episode today, Cynthia, and I have to say, like, Cynthia's concept of this, of like one word and talking about one word as it relates to our activity and exploring it with somebody who's like had to really do that word. I mean, the word adapt is a very big word in our activity for sure. And Lexia, is that how you say it?
Lexia, yeah, sure.
Lexia, she spoke French and then came and had to adapt an entire new learning process of they get into the counting, they get into like just how different it really, really, really is. So like it's really fascinating, and I encourage anybody, like especially instructor wise, to listen to it, because the way that she sort of talks about these world-class amazing designers that are like, you know, the cream of the crop, top of their game, and how they like sort of helped adapt her into the group is really sort of inspiring in terms of like how you could take it and do it with your own group with a brand new person who even speaks English, like you know. So it's like it's educational in that side of it, but like it's just really hearing about her journey and like really exploring this word and her journey in this word. So bravo Cynthia, like it's really a great little series that she's putting together, so congratulations.
Cool, thank you.
That's like a whole episode right there. You know, did you march with a European drum corps member, or did you teach anybody from Europe? You know, and being from Boston Crusaders, I marched with a lot of Dutch people, and then I got to teach at Boston when it started to change to a lot of like Japanese students. So that would be a great episode.
I want to talk to everyone, anyone, everyone. And that's the other thing that Jeremy and I talked about. It's not just about bringing a word and translating everything and going deeper into it, but it's everyone has a voice. So yes, I want to talk to the big names, but anyone that has an opinion or an experience, you can sit down with me and talk for 30 minutes. I will make you talk. There's no issue about that. So it's just really, really fun and interesting. And a fun fact, the next episode, I've been always asked like, what's different, because I'm international, what's different, why are you different? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm the international one, so I don't know what's different. And we're gonna interview an actually American person that marched in Montreal, so now that person will be able to tell us what's different.
That's
awesome.
cool.
Tom, what do you want to talk about?
It's been awesome having a place to geek out with other geeks about this activity. The staff where I work and all that, you know, we've known each other for so long and we get tired of talking to each other about it. And you kind of lose like that spark a little bit here and there, just trying to clean the show constantly and educate the kids. It's fun to come on here and be able to be excited about the activity again, to hear other people excited about the activity, young, older than me, around my age. You know, that it's like we had Dan Smith on, which was such an awesome interview. The guy has seen so much from field level and still does. I mean, that was such a cool interview.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
so, you know, that's my gush about On the Water Break. It's been just great meeting so many like-minded band geeks.
yeah, and I agree, Tom. It actually got me more into band. Like I've always been very into it, but doing the show makes me like follow it even more closely. And I actually have really enjoyed that a lot. And like makes you pay attention to a lot more stuff than just drums. I'm sure you relate to that. So
for sure. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's like, you know, made that spark again. It's also made me pay attention to many different facets of the activity.
Yeah. So I share every sentiment.
And then my second gush is it's got to be, can I say what my favorite episode was? I mean,
totally.
It's got to be when I was right. And I said the Cavaliers were going to win drums.
Oh, you sure were.
No, that was a great episode, though. We were talking guns and who had them, and they came out having them. So that was a cool prediction.
Yeah, you sniped that one from way early season. You were like, yep, this is happening.
And it's going to be tough again. I'm just saying it now, calling it right now. It's going to be tough to get those guys again.
Well, I wonder, like, what are Cavaliers battery auditions about to be like now? Like, it's gonna be crazy. It's gotta be.
Right. I don't think they had many age outs, so.
Oh.
But they're also going to be attracting like some of the best who weren't on the line last year, who were individually best. And like, I don't know, man, that's going to be crazy.
But then again, the Santa Clara Vanguard are back. All All Renick staff are back there, I believe.
Can't count them out.
Attract a lot of talent. Yeah, never count the Vanguard out. That's cool that they're back.
I'll give you my sleeper pick, though. I don't know if it'll be next year or 2 years, but I think that very soon Crown's going to win a drum trophy.
That would be great.
Cool.
Man, they've had some really cool books over the years.
I feel like now the front ensemble, I actually a little bit later we'll be talking about it some more, but that front ensemble is really good now, and it's just a matter of time.
They were very good this past year. Yeah.
So, Ashlee, since you're jumping in on us here, what would you like to gush and go on about tonight?
So I think to start off with, it's been really cool to be kind of in and out of this experience, and both being on the inside and getting to see how everything runs and kind of getting to see everyone's faces has been really cool, and connect with people all throughout the country. And, and internationally, Cynthia, I'm so obsessed with your accent. I could listen to you talk all day, my friend. It's so beautiful. But, oh my gosh, I have a brain fart because I'm pregnant. Sorry. It's just been really fun, and I really enjoyed being a part of it and getting to kind of meet everyone. Yeah.
And
my favorite episode is how ironic that one of the few episodes that I was on, it was where we talked, like, it was about parenting while being a director. And, with so many children that have come from me in such a short amount of time, I feel like that's so fitting. So there's that.
Yeah, I don't think you were pregnant yet the last time you were on, and this is going to be your 4th, right?
Yeah, it's also a secret. I haven't told the public, so you're welcome if you listen to this podcast.
Did you just do a baby announcement live on a water break?
I think so.
That's a first.
Whoa, holy moly.
Well, her water didn't break on this one. It's just on the water break that she announced it.
No, she's not holding it up by the feet. Look what I got, folks.
It's still really early on, so we're pretty far from any water breaking. But yeah, that's my gush. Oh, and if I'll go ahead and do a quick plug, it's been cool kind of putting together, observing the resources that are needed within the color guard community, especially as it relates to movement. I feel like that's kind of a large gap that hasn't really been filled. At least I haven't seen it. So I am really excited to be launching a resource, a membership that's going to help anyone who has 0 to no dance training. I'm uploading on a monthly basis new technique exercises, new improvisation exercises.
Wow.
Pre-done choreography that you can just take and kind of mold to what you need for your show. It's going to be launching soon here at the end of this month. Can you believe it's already November?
No.
But yeah, I saw that there was a huge gap in the movement department of the color guard world, and if I can do my part, I am happy to.
That's awesome. That's the place where I personally even lack the training and resources to feel like I can actually do everything that you do, because it just, it wasn't there whenever we were younger. You had to actually go to school, and I didn't have that resource.
Yeah, and who has time to go to a dance class as an adult? It's hard to find even a place that will offer an adult dance class, so it's hard.
So that's exactly why the activity is so good, because when I started, and I'm old, like Trish, maybe around my age, it was a magazine with pictures of showing you counts of stuff.
Yeah.
And then slowly we started getting recordings at shows and things, video cameras, and now kids can become Jedis by watching the internet. It's amazing.
Yeah, the internet is so powerful.
So Trish, I know you were here for our last episode and you kind of gave your gush, but do you want to do another gush for this week?
Sure. I think my favorite parts, and I'm going to apologize for my voice. It's a little, all of a sudden in the middle of the school day today, I just realized I had no voice. I've had I'm a kindergarten teacher. I had Halloween Tuesday, a birthday Wednesday, and a birthday today. So
It's a busy week.
it's been crazy. So I don't know what's going on. Plus, I was out in the cold at band last night. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But anyway, so my favorite parts of On a Water Break for this year, I really, really enjoyed doing the DCA dish. I really enjoyed bringing that world to a lot of people who've never been a part of that world, kind of stopped after they aged out. Didn't know a lot about DCA, didn't know that there's a whole alumni component to it, all of that stuff. And just now, I mean, it was kind of a one and done because now we're transitioning to DCI all age, and that's also going to be really exciting to see where that's going to go. So I think we hit the ground running at the right time on that to kind of take it into the transition. But my overall gush and go for On a Water Break, I think would have to be the fact that we don't really know, a lot of us don't really know each other personally. Some of us do, but the fact that we can be so open and honest and candid with each other and with our community, to me is, I mean, we bring up a topic, we bring something in, and I'm always sitting here like, should I go there? Should I go there? Should I go there? And we go there, and it's okay, and it's fine, and we have a really good, honest, sincere, open discussion about whatever the topic is, and it's fine, and it works, and it's just so great. So I'm really proud of us for that, and I can't wait to see where we go with it.
Yeah, I think this week what I'll gush and go about is well, we're getting close to marching band finals. I actually just had my last rehearsal, and I'll have finals this Saturday. So it's getting to that time of year, thank goodness, because I can't handle the cold and I freeze outside.
It was bad. It was bad last night.
It was bad. It was bad. My kids just they don't know how to drum in the cold, and I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do it either. But
it was brutal. It was what, 57-ish, I think.
Oh no!
So
we started to get a little dew on the marimbas. We had to wipe them down. It was it was horrible.
See, but the bitter East Coast person in me thinks that I bet there are kids in California that still complain about it getting cold this time of year. Am I right?
Yeah, they're in a North Face, down Parker, they're on Everest.
Yeah, it was nearly below freezing, and we were rehearsing on the East Coast.
Meanwhile, the East Coast kids, who we all told at Monday's rehearsal, guys, the weather forecast is going to be very cold Wednesday night. Bring layers, whatever. We're out there in hoodies.
Yeah.
So
the West Coast.
Yeah, the West Coast folks in the 50s wearing their North Face parkas, and you got the East Coast kids in the 30s wearing their hoodies.
That's wild.
What do we do? What are we doing here?
Well, those California kids better get their hand warmers ready if they want to learn anything from the East Coast. I think that maybe my big takeaways from the year with On a Water Break, I've heard some podcasters say before that it's nice to do podcasts because then you actually sit down and you have a really direct conversation. That's we do more than one-on-one, but very person to person, and you're actually listening and talking about something, which is really nice. I don't actually get to do that really not about band with any of my friends really at this point, because when we're doing band stuff, we're in the moment doing band things. We're not usually sitting around really just finding things to talk about in the activity. So I like that, and I'm really excited for what we'll get into next year. I feel like doing these more video involvement, I feel like it begs me to bring back Performer Spotlight. So we will see.
The audience, they get to hear a lot of the expressional stuff, but some of us are quite animated, myself maybe.
We're gonna have to get improved internet connection though, because I feel like we usually we pop these mics off from time to time to save the show.
All right, guys, put your water bottles down and get back out on the field. We'll be back in just a minute. Stick around. We're going to start talking about our top 25 picks.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy, one of the producers from On a Water Break, and I'm just here to tell you about some really great bonus content that we have going on the rest of our podcast channel. You should check out On a Water Break in Rhinestones with your host, Lexi Duda. She has stories from twirlers all across the world. Also, speaking of worldviews, we have On a Water Break, Lost in Translation with Cynthia Bernard, who explores a word each and every time with a brand new guest from around the world, making sure that no one gets lost in translation. Check out other great bonus content as it comes out all the time here at On a Water Break. Okay, back to the main show.
All right, welcome back to the water break. And we're going to start just going through these shows. Cynthia, do you want to kick us off here?
Yes. And for people that know me, I like things that are different and that are, I was just going to say different. So this show is called Prime. It's the Northwest Independent Color Guard. They were in world class this year. They got a whooping, I think 38.5 as a score. And the thing that is really interesting with this show is that there's a lot of people that talked about it, but not enough people that talked about it. What happened is that they decided to change I don't want to say entire production, but the production during the rehearsal before prelims. Mm-hmm. So this program was, and I'm saying that as I've from my research, right? I'm not a big Columbo, but so they had a program during the season, and they decided to just have fun, be on the spot, be on the moment. The program itself, Prime, is about going further than the box itself. It's about doing more than the 27 points that we know, like what's in between, what's even more, and all that. And I don't know what happened, and I would love to have an interview with the director. I know that he probably got a lot of heat because there's a lot of hate that happened after that production. He's speaking on, like, he starts the show with him calling from UD ground to the DJ saying, like, don't worry about the music, I'll control everything here. Like, he speaks, he plays music. It's kind of in a 3-part thing. I'm saying this with all the interest I have about performance art in general, and I think it's really interesting. I think it's a phenomenon that needed to be spoken more. What happened, how people received it, how people talked about it, how snub we were. And a lot of people were about why were they there, and they have a right to do, blah, 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 whatever. What is color guard? What is not? What are they allowed to do with that 15-minute that they paid for? It's just a really interesting conversation, I think. And I just think that we love to use words as pushing the boundaries, but pushing the boundaries, doing something different, blah, blah, blah. But when we're faced to it, how do you react to it? And so yeah, I think it's a very interesting, I find myself watching at color guard shows that are in the top 15, and after 2 minutes I stop because it's something I've seen. Kids are really good, they're great, I want to look at excellence, and I have close friends that I won't name that they start playing solitaire in the DCI finals because at a certain point there's things that you've seen on. And this show, I watch it for the entire program, and it's not for the quality or the excellence of the program. It's just the experience and what it should be. Anyway, so I think it's really interesting. It's in my top just because it's shaken and moved things without really doing it. Right? There's not really anyone talking about it. There's kind of coming from a group that WGI rule appeared about something that we kind of done, but didn't really do. They kind of are going through that same thing. Like, there's a rule that is now like you need to do a regional, but they have done a regional. Like, so yeah. So anyone knows the director, I think it's Brian Dutton. I would love,
one of my absolute favorites.
Oh my God. If you can, like, I want to create a safe space and have a real deep conversation about his experience, because we need to be open. we need to be open about the harder things to go through, the trauma that we go through in our life and stuff. And I know for a fact that people were not nice, maybe not to his face, but in general. And he knows that too. I'm not like, I don't think I'm coming out with that big thing. And people that are really open in general. I had people that were like, but what are they doing? And I was like, just, if you're not happy, go somewhere else. Like, so I think it's really, really good that you go see this with a really open mind and analyze more of your reaction on how you treat the world and how you're really open, whether how you enjoy the program. Does that make sense?
Cynthia, I love so much that you're bringing this up so much, because seriously, it's, after being there with a team at like we went to World Championships in 2022 and we got last place in world class because all of the stuff that happened. And then like to see him go through all of the stuff that he went through. And like, I've talked to him a few times since then. And it's like, yeah, this is a conversation that needs to be had. So I am going to text him right after we're done recording.
Oh yeah. And another thing that was really interesting is that there's another group, the drummers, I don't know the name of the group.
DC's different drummers.
Yeah. So they had like a similar score, like around the 38s or whatever. And they were applauded and they were like, oh my God, it was so cute, because they're older maybe. And they were taking pictures on their phone. And I was like, why is that more cute? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, why is it more cute? Because they look like they're artists that want to create a moment and they are enjoying the moment as like they paid all of a week of holiday to do. Like, it's the phenomenon that I really think is interesting. So
stay tuned for this drama. We are gonna dig into this. Oh my gosh. Ashlee, I want to know what your pick is.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how I can follow up, because I think that's a really important message. And it really, gosh, Cynthia, you really did make me think. Like, it's stuff that about in the back of your mind. Like, be a kind person, be empathetic, be open. And these are things like we think about in the back of our heads. But honestly, I didn't even know that this was a thing. That really? You said it was Northwest
Independent.
Are they from Washington?
They're from Missouri.
Okay.
Oh, really?
I don't consider that North or West.
Well, it's originally in Northwest Arkansas. And
Oh, I see. Okay.
But they actually, I don't know. There's so much I want to talk about with them, because like it is so much. They actually did like virtual rehearsals for a huge chunk of the season. It was they're from all over the place. So
dude,
we'll talk about that in another episode though.
Okay. So I have not had the time with 3 little kids to watch a ton of band, whether it's color guard or, regular marching band. But I came across Tarpon Springs from this year, and the second I watched it, I was just like, oh my gosh, how cool the way that they come out in those tubes with the eyelashes. It's just really interesting to kind of see how people take props and explore different ways to play with it. I understand completely what you're saying, Cynthia, when you talk about like when you watch the top groups, you kind of start to feel like you're watching the same thing over and over again. And it can be easy to disengage, no shade. I think each group is fantastic, but I understand what you're saying, because essentially we're kind of watching the same thing, but in different forms. Right. So it's always cool to see how people take a prop and explore the things that you can do with it. And something as simple as a cube, you can put different pictures on it, turn it different sides. You can be inside of it. You can hide. You can take performers away. You can add to the palette. It's just really neat to see someone take such a simple prop, but do so much with it. Conceptually, I just think it's really, really neat, really interesting. And it's such a treat because I don't get a whole lot of, I don't have a lot of bandwidth to sit around and kind of catch up with what's going on. So it's nice to kind of see, okay, well, let's see what's going on out there, and to come across such a wonderfully programmed show was really nice for me. And
for sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? Tarpon Springs is always doing something unique and fresh. And, people used to say marching bands take from drum corps. I'm sorry, that's really not the case. I think drum corps takes a lot from the marching band activity.
Yeah, as you were playing that video on the screen, it was really cool. They do like such incredible visual stuff.
Yeah,
which,
even
like,
without the sound, it's just like so engaging.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this show before actually, because I don't keep a close finger on BOA, not as close as I should. But I think like are the bands bigger in BOA than DCI?
I think it depends on what classification.
Well, yeah, but at the biggest end of it, I think they are bigger than DCI can be. And I think like you can see that sometimes in the visual moments. They do some stuff that just like you couldn't pull off logistically in a drum
You're
corps.
talking 250 to 300 kids out.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Vandergrift is way bigger than a DCI corps.
Yeah. And some groups are really good at staging that many people, and some groups aren't. But that's a lot to stage and design for.
That's a lot of dots.
That is, man.
Yeah. So it's cool to see how they take it away and then add them back in. It's really neat.
Yeah. Tarpon Springs did a great job. I want to talk about my favorite thing this marching season. Matrix World Indoor Percussion. Now, usually they're pretty unique and they do something cool every year. But this year, they took like equipment to a different level. They turned it sideways. And it was just such a cool moment. I don't know that it got the respect it deserved at the time, but people are looking back at it now like, holy crap, that was actually really, really amazing. And the show itself is great too. It's a great show. And the group is great. Yeah, if you haven't seen Matrix 20,
wow,
from that season, just get back in there and watch that show again. I think it might have been one of the crowd favorites too. I can't remember.
It was a really good show. I actually wish they would bring back fan favorite like formally. I don't know why they did away with that.
I don't know.
Well, that's because everybody needs a ribbon, and you don't want to leave anybody out.
Everybody except one group gets the same loser ribbon. I think that's fair and fine. It's okay. It's pretty even. Just one group gets special treatment.
Yeah. And do you know if there was any link with the concept for them to switch the marimbas physically, or it's just a big good G moment?
Most of that stuff happens by chance.
Yeah.
They were unloading the truck one day and one was sideways. I'm just guessing, right?
Yeah.
Because when I marched Boston in 1995, we had the first prototype Ludwig free floater, and we took the shell out. So it was just like bars and a top and bottom head. And people were like, there's nothing in the middle of your drum. That happened at a head change one day when we were like, let's just take them out for the fun of it. The staff didn't know about it till later in rehearsal. They were like, where are the shells to the drums? And it stuck the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I haven't seen a group. It doesn't happen that often that someone really like messes with how the front ensemble plays like that. I remember maybe the other time that sticks out in my head is when CWP did Deconstructed in 2015. If you remember that.
That was a good show.
They took the like marimba keys off of the board themselves and just were like dangling them between two members while like someone in the front ensemble would play them. Yeah,
that was a fantastic show. Wow. I think Cavaliers are probably one of the other groups that moved and highlighted their marimba players and whatnot, and they were jumping off them and things like that.
I think I remember that like marimba feature in like 15 when they were like spinning in circles, like spinning the marimbas around and members were playing on different ones and stuff like that.
There's a great little story about the year. Remember the Cavaliers had dudes hanging upside down playing tenors?
Yes.
Apparently this is a story I've heard from reliable source, but a video of that was sent to Mike McIntosh while he was off from rehearsal for a few days of the guys just fooling around. He responded with, "It's in the show."
Do you know what year that was?
Oh gosh, what was the upside down tenor drummer year, Steve?
Oh, I don't know, because I don't think I remember it. I feel like it was a while ago, maybe.
Because in Quebec, and I don't want to say the group because I'm going to be, there's rigid alumni that are going to be mad at me, but there's a group that had it's kind of
anything.
Yes, you remember this? Yes. It kind of looks like who did the spinny thing this year?
What was it? Les Etoiles?
I think it's Les Etoiles. I think so. It's Les Etoiles. I think it's Les Etoiles. And there were drummers in there. They were doing a drum feature while spinning the drummers and pushing the prop on top of color guard girls, but it was football fields, like regular football fields. So the wheels sometimes would be stuck and the girls would be stuck under the prop. Like everyone would worry about the drum, like the drummer themselves going up. But yeah, it's.
Steven, why don't you give us your next pick?
Yeah, sure. So my next pick will be Crown, Carolina Crown this last summer, taking a look especially at their front ensemble here, which I think I was just talking earlier in the show about this, but I think they are really onto something. And the way that this front ensemble like creates a new lens that you can view Crown's battery from. I think that they have a very high ceiling now, and they're going to have to build a program up. Like it's going to take a couple years of building up a culture and like a cleanliness within the drum line. But I marched Crown. I felt like Crown was fantastic when I was there, but I think like this is a notable like different product that I think it has a lot of potential, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it moving forward.
You're absolutely right, Steven. And you know what? I'm not taking away anything from anybody else's front ensemble, because at that level, I can't even fathom playing the stuff they're playing. But I think the only other front ensemble really playing like the Crown's pit now is Cavaliers.
Yeah, actually.
In my opinion. But yeah.
Well, we'll see when the Renix come back around. I think that they have always made like the best, most refined front ensemble product like that I'm aware of in the activity. At least they've done that for the last 5-10 years almost. So we'll see. I think that this new Crown thing is really creative and difficult, which it's like I always appreciated Crown for just its level of refinement. And I think they're going to build that back up. But this level of creativity and difficulty is like something different to me.
Trish, why don't you go next?
All right. So I'm going to use my expertise to choose a DCA show, and one that's near and dear to many of our hearts. Some of you have marched there. Some of you have friends that are marching there now, and that's the good old Caballeros and their Take Me to Church production. It's ironic because around the time that we chose our marching band show, which was entitled Cathedral, then we found out that Hawthorne was doing this Take Me to Church show, and they're going to have benches. Oh no. And then they're going to have, oh no. But they really did a great job with it. I mean, it was just really, really regal. And it was so cool because the first time I went to see them up in Shelton, Connecticut, the first show, they didn't have the costume change. So the decor was all in black the whole show. And I was like, wow, what a really sleek, nice look. Just looked really nice and clean and sleek and dark. And then the next time I saw them, they had the costume change, which was even more incredible. So really nicely done. Just a nice uplifting show that I thought was really great.
Really different for cabs too in general.
Definitely.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Really good.
It's nice to see a big full-sized DCI all age core.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
Because there's not a lot of it. It's really hard to fill out a DCI all age DCA group, whatever you want to call it. So when you see a big full drum corps out there, that's like what East Coast weekend band aspires to be.
So we also have a pick from Whitney, who's one of our hosts also, and everyone must know this show, the Tarpon Spring show. The Essence of Cool, I think, with it's a color guard, but there was live music on the field, and that just gave it a vibe, didn't it? Right? And so the drum set, there was a saxophone. Like, look at me saying music instruments here on the
It's funny because like this is a show that I really do remember, and it's just because my stupid drummer instrument brain is like, ooh, there's a band in this one. But it was super cool. This is a great show.
It is. And they made the kids dance, and it was just really, I mean, they always have good programs, right? Probably all year round in all spectrum, but they were a fan favorite. We're going to call the fan favorites now. If WHI doesn't do it, we'll do it.
Yeah, we should hold a vote online and give out a fan favorite award.
I mean, we could. Cynthia, did you have one you wanted to talk about too?
Yeah, well, it hits home, obviously, but Lazy Eclipse, Breathe In, Breathe Out this year was just a very interesting program. I was part of it at the beginning of the season, and they just did a really good job. I think one of the things that was interesting this season is to see smaller groups make it to finals, and there were 10, but we saw 5. We saw a group of 5. We saw a group of 8. To show excellence. And I mean, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but the year after COVID, we had all the kids that were mad that the season was over, and now recruitment is hard. The groups are, so to see a group with a lot less kids on the floor, but still really good effect with, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. There was no drum set in this show. But no, I think it's just a bridge to say that you can do things, really interesting things with smaller groups, and they can go really, really far. And the show was good. And the other thing that I think is interesting is making finals is something. Now, maintaining your spot in finals, especially in A class, is not easy. And for this program in particular, design team, I was a designer of the year prior, which was the Golden Ratio, but I'm saying but it's a team of people. And then it switched last year to brilliant designers and choreographers, Laurence, Roxane, I'm not going to name their names. They know who they are. They really did a good job. But yeah, I think it's really cool to see smaller groups going far in finals, and we should be open to this because they can be excellent.
So first, talking about smaller groups and talking about like bands that don't get the spotlight super a lot, I want to shout out my pick this week. I don't have a video of mine, so we're just gonna like shout them out because they were, I don't know, they just caught my eye and they caught my heart. The Shawnee Mission North High School marching band here in Missouri, they did a show called Unto a Rose. And when I tell you this color guard, they have captured so much of what we strive for with color guards as far as like dance technique, performance quality, and like really, really getting that performance quality up to the box. And it's just like, it's something you really can't teach, you know. It's one of those things that you really just can't teach. Like the performers have got to have it there, and they just have done such a great job with that, and I really love that about their program. And I'm hoping that their equipment skills are going to catch up to that, because they're seriously going to be like they're going to be unstoppable with that combination right there. They're going places, and I've really watched this program over the years kind of ebb and flow. And I think this whole like thing they're doing with dance technique, and they've got some incredible dancers and gymnasts on their guard, and then on top of that, they've got this show design that's just so relevant. And so it's called Unto a Rose, and it's sort of about this like, I don't even know how to explain this, like this life journey of like love and loss and all this sort of stuff. So they're really hitting on some cool stuff. So love them. So I just want to give them a shout out. I tried to find their video on YouTube, and there isn't a video. There's like past videos, but that's it. Anyways, Steven, if you want to do your next one.
Yeah. So I'll introduce one of our great co-hosts of the show, Trevor's pick for the year. This being Mandarin's 2023 Sinnerman, which he had a big part in the development of. I believe he is the low brass coordinator for the Mandarins. But this show was just like oozing to me. I don't know if I've seen so many like uniform changes and different uniforms in a show, which just like the whole color palette too, I find so satisfying with the whites, the dark reds, golds, blacks. Just a really cool, fun show to watch. So well designed. Really, I think indicative of like the trajectory that Mandarins has been on for a while now. As they're starting to like really realize, like hit a realization of these ideas they've been developing and these like consistency and quality of performers they've been developing for the last couple years. So you can see it starting to pay off. I feel like the trajectory is still up. I don't know where they could go from here, but people, if I was marching age, I would be thinking about it, because I would look at it and I would think like, that's going to be a fun tour. That's going to be a great show. I'm going to go to California. I don't know. They're very much so on the up. I like Trevor's pick that year. My pick, another pick of mine, I've given several, is RCC 2023 for WGI Percussion. Their show was called Home. This moment that we're playing here, I've been trying to select stuff that's really great for the front ensemble. Make sure they get their dues here. But this whole show is so artistic. Like I think it's an excellent example of a show that really, really considers itself art and deserves to be called so. It's not just like a drumline product. It's not just doing band the way we normally do. It really was visually artistic.
And where are they from?
Los Angeles, California. Yeah. Riverside City College is the abbreviation for RCC. But they're fantastic. They're a name, like keepsake, whatever the right phrase would be. I'm not finding the right phrase, but they're a long-term household name for WGI Percussion. And you can tell that staff is like 15, 20 years in down the rabbit hole of like developing world-class drumline products. Because you can see like the mastery of their craft as they put together something artistic and entertaining.
If I can go with another pick, can I?
Yeah.
I really liked this year Kiski. What's the full name of the show? It was the Poppy. Oh, let me find it. We'll find it. And then I'm pretty sure that people are listening and they're screaming at their radio being like, I know this show. Beware of the Poison Puppy from Kiski High School. Kiski High School. I don't know how old they are. They seem really, really young, but they're so good. World class with the puppy, the
Poppy.
Flowers come. What is it? Poppy?
I thought you said puppy like a dog.
No, not puppy. The poison puppy.
Well, I didn't see that one.
Maybe that's what I said. Poppy.
That's actually United Percussion's 2024 show, The Poisoned Puppy.
Really? The poisoned puppy. And I'm like, really? Yeah. Dumb me. Anyway, so I think the floor is interesting, the flowers everywhere, but the kids are so good. And the music is also a little different. I don't know if you can hear. I'm not going to try to name the instrument, but I just think it's a very nice concept between very easy to consume visually program with a music that has deeper levels and kind of more on the, I don't want to say on the weird side, but coming out of me, it's a good thing. It's an interesting soundtrack. So yeah.
Trish, what do you want to pick next?
I'm gonna stay with, as Cynthia just mentioned, a concept that's really easy to grasp, just really Tampa Independent World Class. It was my first year back to WGI since COVID. I last was there in 2019, and it was my first time back. And I had never seen them before, and I really enjoyed this show. I mean, just a relatively new, World Guard, and just really pleasant to watch. Just really nice performers. Just simple concept about photographs and the color, the transition from the colors. Yeah, it was really nice.
I don't know if everyone knows this, but the flag soloist, the blonde girl, I think she broke her foot or like twisted her ankle in her first solo, the beginning solo. And the solo is, I think it's done in the end in color. Like it's like she comes back. Yes. So there's no way I mean, if she would have stopped, it would have been a missing piece of the show. So shout out to members pushing their bodies all the way to the end.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. Well, our members need to push their bodies all the way to the end. So let's get back out on the field and stay tuned though, because when we get back to our water break, we're going to wrap up our top 50. See you in a minute.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
All right, guys, grab your water bottles and take a seat. It's time to wrap it up. I'm going to take it over to our social media for just a second. We've got some picks from our listeners here. And I want to start off with Adam Cowart7, adam.cowart.7. He wanted to talk about Bentonville High School this year. They did the Sunflower Show. I don't have any clips of it. Something about being in the Missouri-Arkansas area. I don't know. We just don't film things here. But it's a really great show. And I just have to say, shout out to that program, because that's another one of those programs I've been watching for a really long time. They have come a long way. There's been highs and lows, and their whole story of how their program has come to be the powerhouse basically that it is has been just an interesting one, because it's not just this consistent, we always hear about the ones that are this consistent rise, you keep on, you just keep on getting better and better and better every year. It's well, you get better and then you lose some ground a little bit, and then you get better again, and then you lose a little bit of ground, and overall you keep getting better. So I love a story like that that's just so real and raw and authentic. So love that about them. And then another one is from DJ the Funny Man, suggested Marcus High School, Above the Noise. And we do have a clip of that one. This one I haven't seen.
I love the title.
I like these uniforms.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, they pop on the field, that nice gray and white.
Yeah, and they got little crowns essentially for the audience listening at home. This is a very full sound.
Mm-hmm.
Reminiscent of drum corps.
That's
pretty nice. Cool. Yeah, the funny man did not lie.
So yeah, thank you so much to our listeners out there. You guys are what keep this show rolling. I gotta tell you, thank you so much for sending those in. Okay, who wants to go next?
How about me? I've got one queued up. That's fine. Not biased. The shameless self plug. United Percussion 2023. They did the Powers That Be, and the reason that I think it's fine and unbiased to bring it up is this drum line beat many of your favorite drum lines, and well, this percussion unit, because it's really the front ensemble did a number, as you'll hear in this chunk.
I like the props.
Yeah. Oh, they get sciencey, baby. That's what we got at United. Just lights, space, classic United stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, we can call it there. This United nowadays, but you know, for the last several years, but especially now, just plays really hard music, and plays it pretty clean too. If you're gonna be real honest, plays a lot of stuff cleaner than many top 5 groups do, which is why I think the music sheets got a little funky, got a little interesting this last winter. Anyone who's been really deep and nerdy into the percussion stuff like I am would know what I'm talking about. But yeah, United, great group. I'm so excited to see what we get up to this winter, but I still know nothing, so don't ask me.
And we need to note that Steven is really excited and loves what he's talking about when he calls me baby. Anyway,
that's okay. All right. It was the general baby in the sky.
No, I mean,
baby.
We're too far. Anyway, I'm going to be the awkward. Yeah, we can talk about Fusion, the beat, and Blessed Sacrament, the riff, the riff, something like that. Two groups that, I mean, Fusion is a fairly young world class that made finals for the first time last season, and then this season came, well, past season, 2 seasons, oh my god, with the years, and in the weeping 4th place just woke up the audience. It was a really fun show to watch. You need to see and look and watch the show, but it just brought life into the arena. Trish, you were there. Maybe you can talk about this, because it felt like there was a lot of great, I mean, world-class shows, but when they showed up, didn't it get everyone alive, right?
Oh, absolutely, definitely. I mean, just the excitement of the fact that, you know, both of those teams, you know, you mentioned SAC as well, play so high this year. I mean, I think that, I'm right in kind of like the North Jersey Fusion home base area.
Yeah.
My independent team went to their pasta dinner show after the season, and just the whole buzz and the whole excitement of, you know, just a few short years ago, they started out in open class, and here they are 4th in world class. It's just, you know, it's really incredible. The whole, you know, my kids get excited about them, and, you know, it's.
And really cool. It's not the first time that I'm saying this, but this group, we all say we're family. We all say we're nice people and stuff, but Fusion, I don't know how they cultivate this culture, but they are just legit nice, caring, like it's a just good color guard to be around, not just performance. So it's well deserved when on top of it they can work together and create that type of program, and I cannot wait to see what's happening this year. And then Blessed Sacrament, and I almost feel like I'm not what's the right word, like I'm not good enough to talk about Blessed Sacrament. It's just such a history, right? They've been there forever. They have great people on I was going to say on top of them. That's not the right word. Leading them, and a great staff that have been working with them for a while. So for them to go and get 2nd place, I know, I'm going to call him out loud, but Fred Marier, he's one of my, I don't know if I'm allowed to call him a friend, but I'd like for him to be my friend. I know the staff was really, and the members really excited to go all that far. Well deserved. And I think it was a show that deserved to be seen in the UD Arena. A lot of things made sense when it was done right. Excellent, because the members showed up. at finals, they were there. And the program just came together in that huge space, which is not something easy to do. Like, we don't rehearse in an arena. No one really does, right?
No.
So yeah, so those two groups, we have programs up here. I don't know how you call it. East, north, west, northeast. Okay, cool. Another of my forte, geography. But I mean, we've had groups that were in top 5 in the 90s forever, and it's just good to see those back, that vibe back up there. So yeah.
Yeah, Blessed Sack had a great show. If you are a big Blessed Sack fan, you should dig back through our back catalog of episodes, because I had an interview with Amber Paget, who I believe she was a captain.
She's so great. She's great.
Yeah, she was a captain. Yeah.
Yeah, Blessed Sack and Boston Crusaders. So she is obviously incredibly talented. And we have a cool interview about that show this year. So you should go check it out.
Yeah.
I am going to throw another one of our hosts picks in here, Alicia. She was actually supposed to be here, but she didn't make it. So
she's Alicia, probably at Dunkin' getting coffee for us.
That's my hope. I hope she's getting some or something. But her pick is Gates Chili.
Mm-hmm. Gates Chili.
Oh, see, I don't even know these things. I did see this show on Flow, I guess. So, and it just, oh my gosh, I love Dolly Parton so much. This is so perfect.
No, and they had really, really, really interesting. They had those tabourets. Yes.
Yeah, you never even see that flyover coming, and then these flags just are like, they're just there out of nowhere in your face.
Yeah, the kids are incredibly talented, and they had those little, I don't know how you call it in English, the tabouret, the little thing you sit on. You didn't see, no one's with me. The bench, the little benches.
Bench.
Thank you. Everyone is going to be like, look at this Canadian. She doesn't know bench.
Well, maybe.
What did you call it first?
Tabouret.
We don't have those here.
You do. It's just they're just more expensive when you say tabouret, right? But anyway, they played with the flag work, and they used them like in a different way than just moving the little bench and sitting on it and stuff. So it was interesting. Also, choreography wise, I was just disappointed they didn't have a nail feature, because if people know Dolly Parton, she played like her nails was an instrument. But anyways, it was really cool, and the crowd loved it from like January all the way to April.
Fun fact here: Cynthia and I marched with their director Michael Heaney in the Brigadiers in 2004.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know I marched with him, but I didn't know he was a director.
That's awesome. Well, Trish, why don't you give us your next pick?
Stool.
Okay.
Stool. I'm hearing Jeremy sing stool. A tabouret is a stool. It's not a bench. Banana. Got it. Thank you. Sorry,
No, it's fine. Sticking in Jersey. My pick is Somerville High School. They did not. A lot of people know Somerville High School from going to WGI in previous years. They did not go to WGI this past year, but they just did a fun country western show called The Show, because one of the tunes was actually called The Show. The last piece was Desperado. You could not drag my kids out of the gym when this show was on. If I didn't schedule their times around Somerville, as a matter of fact, this particular video is from Hillsborough High School, and if you zoom in, you can probably see my kids in the back. There was just so much fun to watch, so much fun. I hope they go to WGI this year. If they'd have gone with this show, they probably would have went really far. It was just a real good crowd pleasing, and some of those kids are just so talented that it was just. In fact, there was one show where we were walking in, we were coming on, and I looked up on the side bleachers, and I saw all those cowboy hats up there, and I said, Oh my God, they're gonna freak out. We're gonna have a bad show now. We're gonna have a bad show because they're gonna be focusing on Somerville in the stands. And when we got off the floor, they were like, no, we wanted them to see how good we were.
Yeah.
So like that was all good. But I mean, the kids just loved that show. I mean, it was just all high energy. And it was just a lot of fun. And again, I hope they do return to WGI this year because they'll make a splash for sure.
I like that you're using a show that didn't go to WGI because if you guys love, like if you want to be geek as we are, if you like a program and they didn't go to WGI, go look at them because that's a lot of time a great way to see how programs build from year to year. It's probably true for Drumline, Stephen, and Horn Lines and indoors because it's just a good year to raise money, but St. Anne's this winter had an amazing program, didn't go to WGI, so everyone's hyped to see them.
Why don't we get Jeremy involved here?
Oh geez,
you should make a pick.
Well, so I actually, because I have learned something this year sort of really intensely, and I learned it last year, but I've really like jumped into really owning it this year, is the college band situation in the world is just something that I don't know that everybody fully appreciates, but this is Widener University. I'm hoping it's playing. But so Widener University is one of those places. It's a small little school in the suburbs of Pennsylvania. If you could hear, the show is Kings and Queens, but so we have to take a lot of music that's current. We have to hit a lot of audiences when you're in college band. And this band just has world-class designers, DCI levels designers designing for this tiny little marching band. And this is at like a little high school show. And you just like to have a world class level team designed for a small little college band. You're getting like just these incredible like soundscapes. And I mean, I will say, and Stephen will freak out, like Colin McNutt writes the drum book for Widener University. Like,
yeah, I actually didn't know that. That's pretty insane. That's like, that's actually so extra and over the top, and I love it.
Like, I know. So like, you know, for me to like be able to like work with these people and get all this stuff, we're able to create this like college marching band experience that's just like beyond any expectation that anybody would have. So shout out to Widener University and any of like the college bands that are out there, like way to go.
Cool. I'll hop in on this one. We were just talking about local programs that inspired me to switch up on the spot, bringing you something from Tournament Indoor Association, a South Jersey group that actually won essentially our regional division out here in Jersey. This quad line. Here, I think we ended up popping in the middle of the feature and we don't got to run it back. I'll just describe it though. This quad line was ungodly clean for just some random school in South Jersey. Like, they were insane. They sounded like fully grown adults. They hit the drums like like they were angry, like the drums had done something wrong or said something unsavory about their mother. It was cool. They won. I think it was probably on the backs of that quad line, although the show was great and all the other students were excellent too. But yeah, shout outs to Appoquinimink High School for winning our local circuit. Now we'll shout out the group that won the national circuit because they drum differently. Talking about Chino Hills High School, who also did a show this year involving horns, much like I believe Tarpon Springs did for Color Guard. So big year for horn involvement in non-wins activity. But it's insane to me just the quality of a musical performer that they have at Chino Hills High School.
And then another all over great program because they have always a good color guard and I guess a good marching band.
Oh yeah, they're great over there, and I think it's because they started young. My understanding is that they have world-class educators like Jeremy's talking about from like elementary school because they teach vertically through the district, not just at the high school. They'll teach like percussion lessons from when you start picking up a drum in elementary school up. And I believe they're probably always focused on building their marching ensemble at the high school. So I bet that groundwork is laid at the elementary level. So just like doing it different out there, a true testament to years of building at multiple different levels.
So we just finished number 47.
Wow.
And that means we have 3 left. I want to say, let's just go from here. We've got 3 other people on, and Cynthia, why don't you tell us what number 48 should be?
I think I'm going to go with all the groups that we didn't talk about. All the groups, all the feeder groups that make those wild, the DCI finalists who they are because they started in their backyard. They started in a group that goes on at probably 9 a.m. at prelims at DCI, or that don't even go all the way to DCI, to the parents that raise the money and cook a chicken in their kitchen so the kids can be fed in those little drum corps in our backyards. Those groups are so important. And I think the journey, Poppy, the journey itself is so important to notice and to recognize and to clap for. I think it's something that we've seen the 2 past years. We praise for efforts and not just for excellence. And that's something that I think needs to be noticed. So yeah, shout out to all the directors that are pulling out feeder groups and need to be recognized, and the kids that are starting at 13, 14, and then go on to those great, amazing world-class programs.
Steven, what do you think for number 49?
Gonna keep with this idea here and shout out every group that competed at the Nutter Center, or every group that competed in the University of Miami. There are so many groups that go to WGI that you could not physically watch them all, even if you wanted to, even if you took off from work and you did nothing. You didn't go to the bathroom or eat food. You still couldn't. You would not be able to watch every group because there are so many schools and drum lines, color guards, wind ensembles, percussion ensembles. WGI is a lot deeper than just your favorite drum line from the top 12. So shouts out to every single competing ensemble and all the regional circuits. There's just so much indoor percussion and color guard out there to enjoy.
And wins.
Wins.
Trish, number 50, what do you got?
Last one, best one. So, I mean, it's an all-on buffet of marching band up here in the North Jersey area. Last weekend, we had the BOA Regional at Rutgers. You kind of had the cream of the crop there. This Saturday, we have the U.S. Bands Open Class Nationals at MetLife Stadium. Hopefully somebody will win because the Jets and the Giants won't be there. And the
as an
A-class,
Eagles fan, I agree.
Oh, wow. Okay, Shane. Anyway, so then you have the A-class championships in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Everybody loves J. Bernie Crumb. Or you can, so if you want to see the best, the best of the best up here, you're going to go to one of those events. On Sunday, you have what we call the North Jersey Band Festival, which is a whole bunch of bands that don't really compete, just are kind of like football game bands. You're going to have the Clifton High School Marching Band doing their Big Ten style with their high stepping. You're going to have some bands that we see at football games. Our sister high school, Northern Valley Demarest, will be there. So there's something for everyone. If you want to just go see some local bands, get some high stepping done, you're going to go to the North Jersey Band Festival. The U.S. Band stuff is happening. So there's a lot to see, a lot to do, and it's a really exciting weekend.
And if you're part of any of those programs and we didn't mention them, just let us know. Like, we're geeks. We're going to go watch all the shows. We're going to talk about them on another episode, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you link us, honestly, if you send us a link to your show, we're going to jump on it.
Yep.
This is really what we're all about. You know, we talk a lot about the big groups and the winners and so on, but we're also like about the little guys, and we're about education and like, where did we start from and how did we get to this point that we're at, and what's the journey look like going on from here. So this is why we're not on the field, we're on a water break. This has been a great season with you guys. I really appreciate you all being here. It's been such a fun opportunity to get to talk to everybody that we've talked to, and there's just no easy way to sum all of this up.
Well, I just want to say thank you all. I mean, I know not everybody is on, but I'm going to say thank you all to everybody. Like, I cannot believe this is, and we have like, you know, Christine and I are putting something together, and like, you know, we're working on it. And so like, hopefully you'll all be like fun and excited about that. And everybody that we have like is just such a contributor to all of this that like shaped it into what this became like in an entire like year. I can't even literally believe it's a year that we did it, and we like literally did one a week. Like, it's crazy. And like Jackie and Steven and Christine, like there is a chat with the four of us that everybody doesn't even know that is just like blowing up on the regular, and like those three answer the call all the time. Like, it is just like, I just cannot tell you. It is just amazing. And I think we're all like starting to like really feel and see like what this has done for us as individuals and like as a group, and like where this is going, and like it's like, it really feels like an accomplishment. Like, it really does.
Thank you guys for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you to our hosts, Cynthia, Trish, Steven, and we had to say goodbye earlier to Ashlee and Thom. But thank you guys as well for joining us. Go subscribe, write us a review. We definitely want to get those reviews in as we're formulating season 2, and get your guys' feedback so we can come back stronger next season. Make sure you share this episode with a friend, and then follow us on all of our social media at On a Water Break. We will see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
Go practice.